Hey guys, welcome to Fast Talk. Today we're going to talk about young entrepreneurship, which is shocker, but this is going to be part one because we have a couple of other episodes that I would have guests going to be here for to talk about it. I'm super excited about our guest around next month. It'll be very good and I recommend watching it, so definitely stay tuned for that one. But I'm excited to just get our brains moving on this topic because I really think it's crucial because I am a young entrepreneur. So I think that the main thing about being a young entrepreneur is what I call recap. Recap stands for resilience. R. E is empowering. C is community. And A is achieving, and P is passion. Those are like the five things that are mainly about being an entrepreneur. And I understand that as a young entrepreneur, it can be hard going into community. I've built my own community by doing events. I've said many times, probably almost every episode, I say this because community is such a big part, and I just really appreciate it because that's how we get so far. We just lift ourselves up with extra people. You know what I mean? We take people with us so we could share the acknowledgments and be like, hey, I need help with this. Could you help me? I would love your wisdom. I personally like doing people who are older than me because I feel like it is easier to go astray with people the same age, in my case, because we're so young that we don't have as much experience as others. And so I personally have top four people who I am like, okay, so I need help with this, and this is who I'm gonna call, this is who I'm gonna contact. I like to have main people. You could have your main community, but you could have others on the way. And in different because everybody has different skills and hobbies. So I think community is really important. Let's talk about resilience. Resilience, on the other hand, is another like plate. It's like this is kind of like a restaurant. You walk in and you take your order. It's easy to take your order for some people, unless you have no people skills and it's really hard to talk to people. Sometimes that happens. But anyways, for the most part, taking your order is the easiest part. So that would probably be passion. Passion is the easiest part about it because you are so excited already to start something new. New things make our brains go, oh, well, now we have to do it because we're so used to our everyday life that something new just makes us our ears pop, you know? We're we're like, wait, what? Our brain is more focused on the new than on the now. But that's why I think passion is so easy for the most part and so strong. That's why people keep going on where they start for young entrepreneurs and for anybody, honestly. But for, and then you order your first plate. Your first plate is resilience. It is big, our big plate. I would say appetizers are community and empowering because community is what you first want to have. That's going to be your first thing. And I would say the next thing, your big meal is definitely resilience and achieving. Those are the big things. It's big to consume. It's hard to consume that because it's so you have to go for it. You have to rush for it. Not rush, but you want to achieve that. And you want to not stop at a certain point because when you're so hungry, you'll go and eat the whole plate. And when you are so passionate about this, you will achieve your goals. You will have resilience. So that's like another example, but let's start from recap in the order. So resilience, I believe that resilience is a humongous key point in this because not only are resilience is another key because resilience is how you continue to what you're doing. And I've said this multiple times before, but another thing about resilience is you know your limits. Resilience is not pushing those limits, but creating limits that can reach your goal. That's what I want you guys to take away from resilience because I don't want you to box yourself up small, but make your limits reachable to your goals. That way you know where you can stop. You don't want to go too far because then that will give you easier just it gives easier room for stress. And we don't want more room for stress because having a business and doing all this stuff is kind of stressful. Like sometimes it will be hard, but what I want you to learn is I need you guys to have your limits set to where you feel comfortable and you know that you won't let room for stress in. Because that is a big part. We don't want resilience to push you so far that it gives you more room to give up because that would be pointless and waste all of our time and all the effort that you poured into that. So we don't want to do that. And another thing for empowering, so now we have RE for recap. So empowering, I think empowering is not to be like bossy, but empowering is kind of goes with community. Community and empowering are what I think is, there's like weights for justice and what they symbolize. And I think they're kind of like on the same scale. But what that's just me. For empowering, I would say that empowering is not being kind of like rudely in charge and like bossy. I mean, you need to be a boss, but not to be bossy. You know what I mean? There's like a balance of it. And so what I would say is empowering is kind of when you need to learn like you can't be a doormat. You don't want to be a doormat in situations where you have to use resilience, use community achieving. People don't want to go with a doormat. Okay. So doormats are in front of the house. They're not in the house. So another way of saying that is they're not in the room where it happens. They're outside the room where it happens. Do you want to be outside? No, you don't. You want to be inside, listening to the wisdom as others, with others, as the group, one of them. But we don't want to be a doormat. There's two things. You can be flexible. You can be easy to talk with, easy to communicate with, but you that's not a doormat. A doormat is when everybody can walk all over you, and we don't want that. That is not what we need to be a strong woman of God, to be a strong business owner, to be a strong man of God, to be a strong, business owner itself. You don't want to be the person that is known as a doormat. And so that's where I think empowering comes in. And then let's go next letter is C, which is community. So for community, I would say we've talked about this many episodes. We have one with Imbal, we have one with Megan Tobler, we have one with Haley. There's even more. My second episode is kind of like a mix of how you start and how you grow your community. I've just had so many it just shows that community is such a big part, and that's why we talk about it so much, and that's why people grow, like Inbal and Haley West, they grow community builders for women entrepreneurs. Why would we do that? Why would we grow women entrepreneurs and men and women groups to grow community? Because it's the key point in an entrepreneurship. I wouldn't know all of this stuff if it wasn't for the community I have and the community that I've learned from and that I've sharpened my tool to work, you know? You have to grow to blossom into more. There is a plant and then there's a tree. You want to be a tree. You want to blossom into more. A plant is small and dainty and kind of like this biggest example is a flower. Flowers are gorgeous. They're dainty and small, but they don't have as many leaves or as many fruits on it. Trees are made to be sturdy, strong, have so much leaves to carry, and so much leaves to drop, and so much fruit. Do you want to be a flower or do you want to be a tree? I would say I want to be a tree because you want to see the stuff that you could keep or let go. What fruits you want or fruits you don't want. So that's just like a main thing. You want to be a tree. Flowers are gorgeous and they're beautiful, but they only last for seasons. They don't last very long. You have to keep them in water, and even then, they last like 2 weeks. You don't want to be a flower. So that's a main thing about what I say for community. You want to be a tree. You want to have all that wisdom that people are rubbing off on you to make so much leaves on your tree. That's what's going to fill your tree. The wisdom that you carry and the wisdom that people are rubbing off on you. And that's how you rub off on others. I'm young, but there's other generations younger than me. And if I am a flower, how am I going to rub my wisdom to them if I don't have any wisdom to share? But in order to have wisdom, you have to learn from somebody else. And that's where community comes in. That's what community is. We're constantly rubbing off each other. Iron sharpens iron. We want to be sharpening each other at all times. It's okay if we're different businesses. That doesn't matter. What matters is we're rubbing off on each other. We're telling each other, hey, I did this and it was a total mistake. Please don't do that. This is how we connect. This is how we stay strong together as a community. So if something happens to one of us, it's going to happen to all of us because we're a web. What happens to one person happens to all of us. We're all community. But if I didn't do that, if I wasn't, constantly in community, learning from others, I say that we we need to we need to grow our community. I need to grow so I can grow for the next generation. So I can leave for the next generation. So I can leave for any generation. But how am I supposed to do that if I don't have community? If I don't have the wisdom? So that's why it's so important to have community. So that's R.E.C. REC so far. Achieving. Okay, so achieving is what equals to all of those. Achieving is you can't have achieving if you don't have resilience. You can't have resilience if you don't have community. Well, that's not true. You can't have empowering if you don't have community. It just goes with each other. I mean, maybe not the resilience part, but you should have resilience. If you're here, if you're doing this, you have resilience. We already know you have resilience because you've made it this far. Just resilience by watching this, listening to this, and doing whatever. I just think I 100% believe that achieving is not easy. And I think that if you think it's easy, please talk to me later because I want to know your secrets. Like, what the heck? How? How did you make it easy? Because it's not. It literally isn't. There's no magic pill to make it easy. There's no magic ingredient to make it easy. Life isn't easy. So, do you think that if it was easy, then everybody would be an entrepreneur? It's not easy. That's why the people who are here know. They know that it's not easy. So when you're achieving stuff, even the small stuff, you're excited. But how would you achieve stuff if you have no wisdom? It's like I was saying, you want to be a tree. So when you're a tree, you can achieve stuff. You're going to grow more branches. That's achieving things. You're going to grow branches. You're going to grow more roots to stay strong. If you have so much roots, it's going to be harder to knock you over, you know? That's achievement. You have so much accomplishments, it's going to be harder to stop you. You want that. You want to be so achieved, even by the small things. Take every little thing a win. That way, when you go to the top, there's nothing to stop you. You just have this abundant spirit. You have this spirit where every little thing is a win to me, which means you're not taking anything for granted. You are happy where you're at and you are happy to thrive, even with the little things. With the little things come big things. And as you just be constantly thankful for what you are just given the win, it will just achieve to more, you know? So that's R.E.C.A. It's now P, passion. So we're so close, and then it's recap. And so passion. Passion is, like I said in the very beginning of this episode, passion is key. Passion is key. Passion and resilience are so strong together and they bond. You know what I mean? They are there for us to use them. Why would we have passion? Why would we do this? When you are doing something that you enjoy, are you asking yourself, why do I enjoy this? No, you're just enjoying it. I mean, sometimes you might, I don't know. Can't read your head, but all I'm saying is passion. It's like that thing that you are doing and you're like, wow, it comes so easy to me. That's called passion. It comes easy to you, even though it's hard. That's passion. And sometimes it doesn't come easy, but you just love it so much, you don't want to give it up. That's passion. For entrepreneurship, I've had many people come up to me and be like, "Are you sure you're doing this? Like, wow, I didn't know that you're still doing the podcast. That's crazy. I thought that was like a one and done thing." For me, it's passion. For other people, it doesn't seem that way, or sometimes some people see that I'm so passionate about this that just because I have school, just because I have other things, I make it a point to be with you guys or to be with whoever shows up on my show. Whoever is supporting me, just realize that I'm also supporting you by sacrificing my time to get some wisdom into your guys' brain on a Friday or whenever you listen to it. There's so many other kids who are like doing random things or just hanging out with their friends on Fridays, Saturdays, whatever. Whenever you do that. For me, I want to be able to grow. I want people to grow from the wisdom of my tree. And so that's passion. That's an example of passion. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't passionate about this. You wouldn't be here if you weren't passionate about being an entrepreneur. People wouldn't be entrepreneurs if they weren't passionate about it. So, recap. That was it. That was the recap. And so I hope you really enjoy this because this is my absolute favorite acronym. And I think it's really important because I think all those things should be in one thing because it goes with each other. They are two peas in a pod, you know? I just want you guys to understand why I do it, and this is my reasoning. Recap is my reasoning, and I want you to understand that you can have your own recap. You can have your own key points. This is my key points, and you could edit it. You could just make it to your own key points to help you do your own recap. So I just want you guys to have an amazing weekend. Keep like being a recap person, and I also hope that you have a great day. Stay tuned for next Friday. It's going to be great. Bye.